Ginny and Jayna have always been known as one of the closest on-screen pairs of their generation, but this year something shifted in a way that fans could no longer ignore. It didn't start with a photo or a video. It started with a look. A single moment backstage at a promotional event where Ginny turned to say something to Jayna, and Jayna responded with an expression so soft, so warm, that fans immediately flooded the internet asking the same question: are they still acting, or is something else happening? At first, people assumed it was just the usual chemistry they were famous for. But then more moments began to surface. Whenever Jayna spoke during interviews, Ginny would glance at her, not just casually, but with full attention, as if she was listening to every detail. Fans clipped these moments together, creating compilations titled "The Way Ginny Looks at Jayna," and within hours those videos hit over 1 million views. But the moment that truly pushed the conversation to another level happened during a live broadcast. The two were answering fan questions when Jayna suddenly grew quiet, rubbing her hands together in a way that signaled she was nervous. Before she even spoke, Ginny gently touched her arm and whispered something that the microphone didn't catch. Whatever it was, Jayna laughed instantly, her shoulders relaxing. Fans commented by the thousands, pointing out how seamlessly Ginny soothed her, like she knew exactly what Jayna needed without a single word. Throughout the year, the subtle signs kept building. They began arriving at events together more often instead of separately. Stylists noticed how they chose coordinating outfits even when there wasn't a theme. Photographers captured their hands brushing against each other, and even though the touches were brief, they looked natural, too natural to be rehearsed. Then came the behind-the-scenes footage from their latest project. The camera caught them during a break, sitting close on a couch, sharing a snack from the same container. Ginny leaned her head slightly toward Jayna, and Jayna nudged her back with a smile that looked far too intimate to be part of any script. The editor blurred nothing, cut nothing. It aired exactly as it was, and the fandom erupted. The people who worked closest to them also began dropping hints without meaning to. A makeup artist commented during a Q&A that they're inseparable unless we physically separate them for individual prep. A director joked that Ginny never relaxes unless Jayna is in the room. Even a production assistant admitted she sometimes forgot they weren't actually dating because of how naturally they moved around each other, finishing each other's sentences, sharing drinks and jackets, and sometimes even falling asleep next to each other during long rehearsals. But the moment that broke the internet happened during a charity event in September. Jayna was invited to speak about a project she was leading. Cameras were on her, fans cheering, lights bright. But as she walked onto the stage, she tripped slightly on the edge of the carpet. Before anyone else could react, Ginny reached out from behind, steadied her waist, and whispered, "I've got you." That sentence echoed everywhere. Fans slowed the clip down, enhanced it, and confirmed the words. The hashtag "I've got you" trended for an entire weekend. Reporters began asking the two directly about their closeness. Ginny always smiled politely, responding with, "We're very comfortable with each other." Jayna's cheeks always turned pink when asked, and she'd laugh softly before saying something like, "We just get along really well." But then came the birthday post. On Jayna's birthday, Ginny uploaded a photo that no one expected. It wasn't from a set. It wasn't a promotional picture. It was an unfiltered, soft, candid shot of the two sitting on a rooftop at night, city lights behind them, wrapped in the same blanket. Ginny captioned it, "Another year of growing with you." The internet froze. Fans analyzed the tone, the intimacy, the shared blanket, the setting, everything. Jayna responded within minutes, commenting, "Thank you for always being my safest place." And that was it. That comment sent shockwaves. People began asking whether they were hinting at something the public wasn't supposed to know yet. Their label quickly released a statement about friendship and professional closeness, but fans didn't buy it. The words they chose for each other felt too deliberate, too emotional, too personal to be written off as typical co-star affection. Recently, a fan spotted the two at a private cafe late at night, far from the city center. No cameras, no managers, no schedule. Just the two of them sitting in a corner booth, talking quietly, smiling at each other like the rest of the world didn't exist. That video leaked, and viewers said the same thing. The way they looked at each other didn't resemble colleagues. It resembled two people who felt deeply connected on a level they never needed to label publicly. Now, The question everyone keeps asking remains the same. Are Ginny and Jayna more than co-stars? Are they quietly protecting something they're not ready to reveal? Or is their bond simply so strong, so genuine, and so rare that it feels romantic even if they never say the words? Whatever the truth is, one thing is clear. This year revealed that their connection is unlike anything the industry has seen in a long time. Whether it turns into a public confession or stays as something just between the two of them, fans agree on one thing: the closeness between Ginny and Jayna is real, powerful, and impossible to ignore. As the days went by, people started to notice that something had shifted between Ginny and Jayna. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It wasn't some sudden confession or a scandal that exploded overnight. It was quieter than that, almost invisible if you weren't paying attention, but their most loyal fans saw everything. It began with the way they stood next to each other during public appearances. Before, they kept a polite distance, always careful not to feed unnecessary rumors. But lately, that space had completely disappeared. When they walked, their shoulders brushed. When they laughed, they leaned in. And when they thought no one was looking, they exchanged glances that carried more weight than actual words. People online started stitching clips together, moments from award shows, behind-the-scenes footage, interviews, rehearsals. And when placed side by side, the chemistry was so obvious that even casual viewers couldn't deny it anymore. Ginny's eyes always softened whenever Jayna spoke. Jayna always found a reason to reach out and touch Ginny, whether it was fixing her mic, adjusting her hair, or placing a hand on her back when she walked. But the moment that pushed the entire fandom into chaos happened during a live stream interview. A fan asked a question about trust, and the interviewer casually added, "Who do you trust the most these days?" Jayna looked at Ginny immediately, not even a second of hesitation, and Ginny froze for just a heartbeat, caught off guard by the raw sincerity in Jayna's eyes. She laughed it off, gave a safe answer, but the damage was already done. Fans clipped the moment instantly. It spread everywhere. People began asking, why did Jayna look at her like that? Why did Ginny blush so hard before she answered? Why did they act like two people with a secret too big to keep hidden much longer? Behind the scenes, things were even more intense. Ginny had always been the quieter one, more careful with how much she revealed. She understood the industry politics, the expectations, the pressure. Jayna, on the other hand, was bolder, braver, and more willing to take risks, especially when it came to the people she cared about. Their dynamic had always been like that. Ginny strategized, Jayna protected. One night after a long rehearsal, the staff noticed that Jayna didn't leave with her manager. She lingered. Ginny walked out a few minutes later, tired but smiling softly. They spoke for several minutes in a dim corner near the exit. Jayna reached up to tuck a strand of hair behind Ginny's ear. Ginny didn't step away. A security guard, thinking he wasn't being watched, recorded a small snippet, not intentionally, just from his body cam footage. The video never leaked, but insiders saw it. They described one thing: the way Jayna looked at Ginny was not the way you look at a co-star. It was how you look at someone who means something to you. Something real. And this wasn't the first time. Rumors started swirling about how Jayna had changed her entire schedule just to accompany Ginny on a difficult shoot. People noticed that Ginny's mood visibly lifted whenever Jayna was around. Even their directors privately admitted that their emotional connection on camera had become so natural, so intense, that they barely needed direction anymore. It felt like the line between acting and reality was slowly fading. And then, something else happened, something that sent the internet into a frenzy. Ginny posted a photo late at night. It was simple, a hand holding a cup of tea. Nothing extraordinary, but fans instantly recognized the bracelet on the wrist. It wasn't Ginny's. It was Jayna's, the same one she'd worn at a fan signing event just days before. People zoomed in, compared photos, analyzed angles. It matched perfectly. The comments section imploded. Hours later, Jayna posted a photo too. Just a sunset. But sharp-eyed fans recognized the balcony railing. It belonged to Ginny's condo. And just like that, a new wave of speculation rose, louder than before, unstoppable. People didn't just wonder if something was happening between them. They began to believe it. They began to root for it. They began to question how long the two women had been dropping clues without anyone noticing. Ginny stayed silent, overwhelmed but not denying it. Jayna stayed calm, as if she was ready for whatever conversation would come next. Their team had no choice but to discuss the sudden shift in public perception and what it meant for their careers. Because one thing was clear now, whatever was happening between Ginny and Jayna was no longer just rumor. It was becoming visible, undeniable, and far too big for the industry to ignore. And the world was watching.